Welcome to the New Haven Independent Vlog News Summary direct from our assignment desk, Compost Heap. Let's break down the news. Well, they were breaking down the tarps and the tents this week on the boulevard where there's been a homeless encampment for years because of our affordable housing crisis and people with other problems leaving with the hosing. This week, the city finally said, you got to leave, folks. This isn't safe. Most folks left on their own. A few stayed. The city came in with dozens of cops and bulldozers on Thursday morning and cleared everybody out and cleared out the trash. This is tough stuff. Everyone gets emotional on both sides. I think sometimes it's good to step back and say we got a big problem here. Everyone's trying to do their best, including the city people who work hard to find places for people to stay, and if they have addictions or mental health problems, find the right place. However, the one little criticism I have is that they spent all this time, dozens of cops wasted across this big field to make sure nobody got close enough with cameras to see what they were doing. Well, if they're not doing anything wrong, and I'm not saying they are, then they should trust us to see. Because if they don't trust us, we can't trust them to solve our big problems together. Which reminds me, at the Board of Ed, this week, we pulled out the remote again because there was a Board of Ed meeting, and you can only watch it remotely because years after teachers and students were sent back to learn in person, the Board of Ed still meets remotely. Well, they lied to us about that. First, the mayor and the Board of Ed said, we're doing this because we want more participation, more people watch the Board of Ed. We know that didn't make sense because you could do it in person and also remotely. So then there were these rumors, well, someone's sick, someone might not live here, may not be true, or maybe they just want control. Tell us the truth, and then we can believe you. Well, some people who want in-person meetings all gathered at the Teachers Union building, and they had a watch party. They watched remotely while they also shared ideas about how to deal with schools together to make their point. No one made the point better than Darnell Goldson. He's a member of the school board. He attended the in-person watch party, participated remotely in the meeting he and others were watching, and then was able to face the people. That's the way to do it. Legacy corporate print newspapers. They're not telling us the truth either. They're up at the state capitol saying, you need to keep legal notices in print newspapers. Local governments, when you're advertising contracts or meetings, they've always been printed in print newspapers, and that's a windfall of money. But it doesn't make sense anymore because you can reach more people with that information, serve the public online at town websites. So there's a proposal to change the law so towns don't have to, small towns, $50,000 to $100,000 a year to just do those ads. The print papers are up there not reporting on the news. They're trying to bully lawmakers into not passing the law so we can keep sending profits that don't serve the public to hedge funds and corporations out of state. There are some locally owned papers, but they're going to have to fix a new business model because they will criticize the legislature otherwise when they waste taxpayer monies that don't serve the public. We can't trust you to give us the real story. How can we trust the other cousins? Can we trust where we keep our money? Well, here's a Pushka where we keep our coins. I trust that's safe, but what about our banks? Two banks failed out of state this month, and there was a fear to be a run on other banks, so they say, trust us. Everyone's money is safe. One of the banks they were worried was going to fail next was Key Bank. That's one of our biggest banks around here, but it's based in the Midwest. Luckily, it survived after the threat. I think the money's safe for now, but think about the history of why we might not trust our banks. Key Bank used to be a local mutual savings bank owned by depositors that really served the community and was cautious in how it spent their money. When their president was dying, vultures, corporate vultures, circled around, and as soon as he died, they got on the board and said, trust us, we don't want to sell this bank, it's a community bank, and instantly sold it to a whole bunch of corporations and sold to other corporations so that they individually can make millions of dollars and screw our community. Luckily, out of that debacle, we had a community bank form that's locally rooted, New Haven Bank. So there is hope for trust. Till next time, this is the Independent Vlog News Summary, and remember, always pick up your trash.